You're recording.
All right. Welcome to the call, everybody. This is our monthly customer testimonial call for Galen and Team Limitless. So welcome, and we're so glad that you joined us. So what we're going to do is basically here in just a minute, open it up and allow people to just, talk about what they've experienced so far since they've been on the technologies here that iGalen offer. They currently have two, soon to be more, but we're going to be talking about the experiences people have had, with the product so far. So first of all, let me just do you want to say anything first or just?
No, you can go ahead and tell them a little bit about the product.
Okay, let me just tell you about the two products. We have about a minute each to give you a little background, then we'll go ahead and open it up. So the first one is called Genesee. And what that is, it's a patented product. We actually own several patents on it. And it's a powder that when you mix with water, it stimulates anywhere from 2 to 15 million stem cells to be produced endogenously from your own bone marrow and distributed throughout your body within 2 hours after the very first dose. It's an amazing technology that they have. In fact, it's so amazing that the formulating doctor, the research doctor that came up with it, was literally nominated for a Nobel Prize for the creation of this product. So that's pretty astonishing. That doesn't happen very often. And so it speaks to the effectiveness that people, that the product has and the results people are experiencing. And what else do we want to say about it?
That's it.
Okay.
And it's patented too.
Right, so. It's patented, so we can't be copied and all that kind of thing. So, and not just a proprietary blend is patented, but the actual extracts that go into it are patented.
Right.
So that's pretty amazing. The next one is called Uncarb. And what that is, it's the world's first carbohydrate optimization product. So essentially, inflammation is killing us. And the reason why we're walking around in a state of chronic inflammation is because we're taking and eating these refined carbs, starches, and sugars that our bodies weren't meant to ingest. And it's fine if you use that, if you burn it off real fast, if you're going to go run a marathon or something and you want to eat a popsicle first, wonderful, you're going to use it. But the problem is people overindulge in these carbohydrates and sugars.
And then we don't move.
And then we don't move, right. Or we don't move enough. And then the body, it transforms those carbs and starches and refined sugars into fat. And then that begins the inflammation process in our body. And inflammation is basically the cause for all disease processes and aging that we have. It's just all a result of inflammation. So if we can help reduce inflammation in our bodies, it's going to help with a wide array of things. So again, with Uncarb, we own the patents to that as well. It's not a carb blocker, nor is it a weight management system. It's not meant, or a weight loss system.
It's a weight management system.
Yeah, it's a normalizer. So in other words, if you need to lose weight, it's going to help you to do that, because as you reduce inflammation in your body, you're going to naturally lose weight. If you need to gain weight, because that's a thing too, and some people are too thin, then it helps them to get back to that homeostasis where they need to be, where their body can, best perform. So anyway, so it's a normalizing product. It's not a weight loss product, but a lot of people do need to lose weight. So a lot of testimonials do center around, oh my gosh, I'm losing so much weight. Well, because they needed to, and they're getting back to normal. So,
and Uncarb actually stops insulin spikes.
Yes.
So after you eat, carbs and sugars and stuff like that, it stops your insulin from spiking, which is what causes fat storage. That's what causes, so it stops that from happening. And we'll soon have proof, because you can, test your sugar in the morning before eating and then afterwards, and you'll see that your blood sugar didn't spike.
Right.
So.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's
anyway,
enough about the product.
That's a little bit about each product.
Open
So
it up
whoever
for,
wants to speak up first and just talk about your experiences and just give honest feedback to your experience at the beginning and now where you're at with it. What you think it's done for you, whatever you want to say. We're all ears. So, who wants to go first?
I'll start.
Okay, George.
awesome.
Well, I've been taking both products for about 4 weeks now. During that time, I've lost close to 20 pounds.
Wow.
I've had no allergy symptoms, which normally this time of year I'd be runny eyes, runny nose, and miserable.
Yeah.
So I've had no symptoms of allergy at all. The backs of my hands used to have all kinds of dark age spots on it, and they've pretty much disappeared. I don't know if you can see that.
No, I can't see anything.
That's because the camera's not right or something. But anyway, both my hands, you can't even hardly see any age spots at all anymore.
Wow.
And I'm type 2 diabetes. It's helped my blood sugar management. The energy you get from the first time, I usually take it the first thing in the morning. It gives me a lot of energy through most of the day. So just I'm finding the longer we take it, the more effects it's having. Bonnie had some really bad plantar fasciitis in her foot, which was extremely painful.
Mm-hmm.
And now all that pain is gone since being on these products. So she hasn't had any pain in a couple of weeks now from in her foot. So we're looking for even better things as we go along.
Right. That's awesome. And it always makes me smile because when I hear things like that, what you just said, how much money people would pay just to lose 20 pounds in a month, or how much money people would pay just to get rid of age spots or to help diminish them. Like
Right.
Stop the plantar fasciitis from hurting.
Right. And
yeah.
you don't have to kill your liver with Tylenol and Advil and all these things. Any one of those effects, people will pay well, and it's just amazing that it helps such a wide range of things, because that's what happens when you reduce inflammation and when you increase stem cell production and distribution in your body and in your mind, that it helps a wide array of things. So it's just amazing. So thanks, George. I appreciate it. Who wants to speak up next?
I will give my testimonial on the products. My name is Judy Van Horn. I actually have an autoimmune disorder, as well as I have had asthma since I was really young. But my primary focus and concern was the autoimmune disorder and the plethora of problems that presents. One of which, before I started using both of these products, was I had a toe that was actually being talked about being amputated. It was purple and curled up underneath my other toes. And they were concerned about that blood circulation and that. And the option was amputation at that point. I had been having some severe headaches and woke up with some pretty bad symptoms actually 4 days before taking the product for the first time, where my face on the right side had gone numb, my lip was kind of curled up and it wouldn't move, and just terrible pain on that side of my head. And I was introduced to the products, had taken it for the first time on a Friday morning. So it was Sunday through Friday that I had those terrible symptoms in my face and in my head. And within just a couple hours, like Derek mentioned, just within a couple hours, I realized that I could feel my face and my lip was moving. I was jamming down the road on a 2-hour drive to work that I was on travel for, and realized my knuckles weren't white, my hands weren't sore. I had been having terrible trouble just writing and even just doing my daily functions as a manager in a day job that I have. And I had to car on cruise control, had a slip-on dress shoe, and I slipped off my shoe, and my toe was still kind of curled up a little bit, but it was pink and healthy, and it has been pink and healthy from day one. And I have not had one headache. I think I'm 4 weeks, maybe 5 weeks into the product, down 14 pounds, and have not changed my nutrition, although you could, and then see even better results.
Yeah.
So I can't wait until I'm able to shout it from the rooftops what these two products can do for you. And they're natural and they're plant-based, and that's just super important. So I'm really looking forward to the things to come and hearing more testimonials from other people as well.
Nice.
Thanks, Judy.
Yeah,
That's
thank
so
you.
awesome.
I remember that day we received that those voice messages from you after the first time you tried it. You were so excited. And
Oh, I was so excited, and I was crying, and I couldn't get my phone to work, and I think there was probably some F-bombs involved, but I was super excited.
well, I understand the exuberant enthusiasm,
Yeah.
because when you start feeling good and you haven't been for so long, it's understandable.
Yes.
To be enthusiastic about that. So thank you. Yeah, and that's one of the best things about sharing this, because we didn't say this at the beginning of the call, but Sherry and I, we're both nurses as well. So it's important to us, if we're going to share something with someone, it can't be snake oil. You know what I mean? Or along that line. It needs to be science backed. There needs to be clinical studies. It needs to be published in peer-reviewed journals, and this checks all those boxes.
Yes.
And that's why we're proud to bring it. And of course, these anecdotal testimonials that we get are all very consistent. Most people are feeling great results very quickly. I mean, the human body is, complicated. So not everyone is going to have like amazing results on day 1 or even day 3 or even 2 weeks in.
Sometimes a month later.
It depends on how far off you are from normal anyway. Some people live very healthy, clean lives. They don't have any active disease processes at the time when they start. They exercise regularly. They eat organically. They take very good. So someone like that, it's probably not going to blow their mind in a day, because they're not that far off from being where they need to be anyway. Then other people, have greater results more quickly. So it just depends. But all we know is reducing inflammation and adding stem cell production is never a bad thing for any human being.
Even in a healthy person.
Right. Exactly. I know Dr. Rajan, our CEO and one of the science advisors here to corporate, he talks about, hey, we need to bring this to those in the healthy market, because they care about their health and they understand what inflammation does. And it's a great way to be proactive about not letting these problems occur in the first place.
Right. We're going to keep people healthy.
Right.
That's the goal.
Right.
To stop these problems like diabetes and all this stuff from even happening in the first place.
Right. Yeah. So anyways, okay. So who else wants to speak up?
I will.
Hey, Cindy.
Hey, Cindy.
Hey, so I was introduced to both products March 8th, but I didn't actually start them until the 14th. So it's been about 7 weeks. But prior to that, I had been suffering severe hormonal issues that resulted in hot flashes, day and night, no sleep whatsoever. If I did sleep, it was 2 hours here, 2 hours there. And I was constantly waking up exhausted. Even if I thought I slept, my whole day, I was just in a fog. So I received my product on the 13th, but I didn't start it on the 14th because I had had a surgery on the 13th. So I waited till the 14th. While I was recovering, within 2 hours of taking them, I noticed my hands didn't hurt from a tick bite I'd had like 8 years ago. And so I always woke up with my hands swollen or my knuckles swollen, and I couldn't make a closed fist. Well, I was sitting there in the recliner watching TV, and I was like, oh my gosh, I can make a closed fist, and it didn't hurt. And I'm squeezing the knuckles, and it didn't hurt. And I was like, holy shit, this really works. I couldn't believe it. It was like within 2 hours. And I'm like, man, I can't wait until to see what, the next day brings. Well, that night I slept a solid 9 hours. I did not wake up once. I did not have a hot flash. And 7 weeks later, I still have not had a hot flash. And I've slept every night solid, whether it's 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours, it doesn't matter. I wake up refreshed. I have tons of energy throughout the day. I usually have to make myself go to bed because I just want to keep doing things. I'm not wired, but just have that energy. And then I've noticed also along the way.
I want to do that real quick, if you don't mind.
Sure.
About the energy thing, because I hear that a lot from people, and I know it's true for us as well, that you said, it's not that wired energy. And yeah, I can't really, it's just a sustained natural, like I don't need, I'm going to be 47 in like 6 days. I don't, and I know you're right around where I'm at, so, but I don't need that, involuntary, mandatory power nap during the day.
Right.
I just don't need that anymore, nor is there a crash. Like if you're
right.
taking a caffeine supplement, like a no-dose
I was living on coffee all day long from the time I woke up till dinner time or later, because I was trying to stay awake, and that I don't need that anymore. I'm good with 1 or 2 cups in the morning, and I really don't even need it. I just like it. So I don't feel like I need that to get myself going or to keep myself going.
Right.
Also, like George said, no allergy issues. I usually have terrible allergies. I was taking 2 different medications for it. I've not had to take any of those. And last week I decided to take a picture and do a side-by-side of one that was probably about 5 weeks prior. And because everybody kept asking me if I was losing weight, and I'm like, no, I'm not losing weight. I've lost all that gut inflammation and bloating, and it probably looks like I've lost 5 or 10 pounds, but I haven't. I mean, my weight fluctuates a pound or 2 here or there every day, but everybody's like, are you losing weight? You losing weight? And I'm not. It's just the bloat is gone. The inflammation is gone, and I feel great. It's just amazing.
Yeah, and you're one of those people that you're just, you're thin. You've always taken good care of yourself. You never had that need to lose weight.
Right.
But it's nice because I remember that picture you posted, and it's so like visually obvious that bloating is gone.
Yep.
Right. And I haven't been exercising because of that surgery. I had to wait for the doctor to okay. And so I hadn't really done anything except, walking. I haven't been able to do my usual routine or running. So I was just like, this is amazing. All the times I worked out 45 minutes to an hour a day, do all this running, and I still had that bloat, and then not even exercising, and it's gone. It's like 5 weeks, like, holy smokes.
Right. One of the things Dr. Virgin said, because we were with him, and you were down there with us in Atlanta, and I don't remember if he said this publicly or privately just to us, but he had said the only way that we can communicate with our bodies at the cellular level is by the food that we put in our mouth. And most people are, giving bad communication to their cells. It's like, yeah, you're telling yourself, hey, I want to be healthy, I want to feel good, but then you eat a big bowl of, rice, some white rice, that's just straight, just starch, turns into sugar into your body. You might as well eat teaspoons of sugar. That's what people don't, and it's the only way we have to communicate with our bodies. So, when you're adding the right nutrients, which is what happens when you take Genesee and when you take Uncarb, you're adding the right nutrients, you're reducing that toxicity, and not only are you reducing the toxicity, you're feeding your cells the nutrients that are missing that you actually need. So you're doing both at the same time, which is why all these crazy, amazing results are happening. But I love that, so now ever since he said that, I know I'm so much more careful with what I'm eating and with the, what I'm drinking or putting in. I'm like, what am I telling my cells right now? well,
Mhm.
kind of talk or we have it. And I'm giving them bad talk, but I eat, my big bowl of ice cream with Hershey syrup on it. And, I'm like, okay, yeah, do that. That's bad. But, I mean, every once in a while, everything within reason, I'm not saying,
That's
right.
not giving up sugar.
I'm not
Don't
giving
have
up
to give up
ice cream
sugar. That's why we have the product.
to help,
To
right.
help us process the sugar.
Right. So it's all being reasonable with it and still enjoying life and all that. But, usually, most people, that's all they're doing is giving themselves bad things,
Right.
And they'll eat one piece of broccoli and think they've had a good day or something. But, but I love when he said that. I love it. And does anyone else want to speak up? I know we've been going about 20 minutes. Does anyone else have anything they want to say before we close out? 2 seconds here. I don't think so.
Cool.
Someone just unmuted.
Oh, I have something to say.
Who's this?
Can you hear me? It's Stacy. It's Stacy Hollenberg. I'm on a home phone because my kids have my phone and I can't get it. So
What's up?
I had to unmute myself. How are you guys? This is my first time being on a call.
Welcome.
Cool. So I'll tell you real quick. The two things. So the two things I've noticed, and I remember you were saying something about being, like people who are on the healthier side. Maybe they don't feel something right away. And I've always, as a trainer, I try to do my best, eating right and exercising all the time. But I have had horrible IT band syndrome since the last half marathon I did, which was 2 years ago. Have had a really hard time. I can't run. I went to 4 months of physical therapy, still nothing. And I can't rest because I teach classes all the time. So I can never give my body the rest it really needs. Started on this. I've been back to running twice a week and within 2 weeks. And I don't have, the pain is substantially lower and I haven't even been foam rolling. And I have to foam roll usually. Like I can't, once I run, if I don't foam roll, I'm in just pain and it's just not there. And I don't even know how to describe. It's just, how did that happen? It's not there after all this time of physical therapy and it not working and everything else. And that's incredible to me.
It is.
That's the first thing I tell people. I'm like, I'm running again.
Right.
And the other thing is, and I don't know if other people are feeling this, but when I had my son 12 years ago, I had very bad postpartum depression. And it went away after too long of a time, in my opinion. But it left me with nighttime anxiety that I didn't have before. Every time it gets dark, I would start to feel really nervous, at least 3 or 4 times a week, starting that I guess it's called like a downing or something in the nighttime. I think there's a term for it, but I'm not sure. And I haven't had it since starting. And to me, that is more powerful. That's even better than the pain in my hips not being there, because the mental to me is worse than physical.
There's nothing worse than anxiety. It's horrible.
Yeah. And I just had realized, I'm like, oh my God, it's been 2 weeks since I've had any weird feelings of when it's nighttime and getting dark, and oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I don't know if other people are feeling that, but it happened when I started the products, and I don't see there's nothing else I'm doing differently.
Right.
So,
what else?
Yeah.
I used to wake up in the middle of the night, like once a week at least. Ask him, because it scares the crap out of him. I would wake up in full-blown panic attack in the middle of the night for no reason.
Right.
Like sit straight up, heart pounding, can't breathe. Nothing since I started these products. It's not happened to me once since starting.
Oh, I'm so happy. I think that's the best at anything. I mean, I would just, if I could just give that to everybody.
I know.
I mean, just for that, and you don't have any drugged feeling, and you don't have any, it's not like I'm taking an antidepressant or anything. It's just this. I just feel fine. Thanks.
That's awesome. That's probably from Genesee, I would presume, because that has something in it called PEA, phenylethylamine.
Yes.
And that's
Yeah.
love, and that's what gives you that, you know,
Happy.
happy feeling to where, you know, when you're falling in love with someone or you're just, you know, extremely excited about something, you just feel good inside, and you just have that feeling that we would all love to be able to reproduce, you know, on cue. And obviously it's difficult to do, but here it's just naturally, our bodies naturally produce phenylethylamine, but this is it's added to the product naturally, to where it enhances that. So it's a way of, you know, just making yourself feel good, giving you a better outlook on life, and having that sustained energy. So not only do you have the energy to do things, you feel like doing
It's
things.
not added, it naturally occurs.
Right, it naturally
In the
occurs.
algae.
Right.
In
Yeah.
in the AFA.
Yeah.
I've been learning how to pronounce that. So it's aphanizomenon plus aqua. And I've been practicing.
Oh my gosh, say that again.
Aphanizomenon plus aqua.
That's the algae.
That's the blue green.
Oh wow. Okay.
That's what the PEA, that phenylethylamine, and
Yeah.
something else in that AFA.
I don't know.
But anyway, whatever it is.
All I know is it works.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Yep.
Well, we are at almost a half hour, so I'm going to go ahead and end it. Otherwise, people just won't watch the whole thing because
Right.
we don't want to make it too long.
Yeah.
So, anybody that wanted to share that couldn't, please hop on the next one. It will be in 4 weeks from now. We do it the first Saturday of every single month. So, hope to see you guys there.
Thank you guys so much for your input. Love it.
Thank you guys. Have a good day.
Thank you.